he revealed himself as Ingessus, leader of the long-forgotten and dreaded Voltaris clan.
No, Ingessus is not getting a charge for espionage or identity fraud. He was adopted by Aegis Nestoris, and henceforth, he was a legal member of the Nestoris clan.
Alone to reclaim the Prime songs.
Ingessus killed 3 Ardoni masters and stole 3 of their songs. As a result, he will get a death penalty for each master killed and a grand larceny charge for each song stolen. Looking back at the prologue, I don't think anyone survived those fires.
The 4th and final master, Aegis Nestoris, survived the massacre, thus protecting the last and most powerful Prime song.
He tried to kill Aegis Nestoris, who we later know is his adoptive father, which makes this attempted patricide.
The Death Singer met with King Kronos of the Nether, and formed the most powerful alliance ever known. And thus began the Great War.
Ingessus working with the Nether is not a crime, because technically that could classify as self-defense in order to keep his clan safe from extinction. Henceforth, there is no crime here.
They call it the Great War, but few things about it were great. Many lives were lost, and the Ardoni were nearly brought to extinction. Sen, wait!
Ingessus doesn't really have too many appearances in Songs of War outside of the prologue and the finale, so it's hard to say whether or not we can actually try him for all the crimes Tigran and the Voltaris committed. He did tell them to prepare for his arrival, but technically that didn't mean, murdering entire villages or stealing the dragon eggs. I don't even think he intended for so many people to die, but for the sake of not scrapping out the entire first season of Songs of War, which is the only official season of the show, I'm just going to charge him with crimes against the peace. While most of Ingessus's crimes could classify as acts of war, he does exterminate entire villages, he steals the songs, and he does kill a lot of people. So I'm just going to charge him with war crimes and terrorism. He kills Achillean, and since Ingessus was an adopted member of the Nestoris clan, that means that he had killed his brother. Since you could argue that he was technically brainwashed, I guess you could say that he's pardoned for most of the crimes. The only crime I'm not removing is the arson crime, just to be fair. Surprisingly, according to my research, necromancy is not actually illegal. It's just that technically you would have to desecrate a corpse in order to be a necromancer. So, yeah, let's just give corpse desecration. It's really difficult to find out exactly what type of crime turning all the humans into zombies would be. It's not corpse desecration since they're all alive, and it's not really brainwashing since the undead technically have a mind of their own and are capable of sentience. If you don't believe me, the main cast are proof of that. That leaves 2 good options: mass poisoning and genocide. Mass poisoning because he's altering the humans' bodies against their will, and genocide because there's multiple forms of genocide. One is literally just killing people, which is what a lot of certain mustache people have done. Another is suppressing an entire language in favor of your own, which is what Putin has been accused of currently in Ukraine. And the other form of genocide is where you replace an entire cultural identity with your own. That's what the US did to the Native Americans and what the Japanese did to the Koreans. In this case, we can consider this the third form of genocide, since Herobrine is erasing entire factions and cultures of human beings and turning them into zombies. They're not technically dead, since later on we can see that the effects can be reversed. That means that technically he's not killing them, he's converting them to his own culture. That is genocide. And since he poisoned and genocided humans en masse, he will get a bunch of death penalties. Let's cue the montage. I forgot to mention this, but the Grand Master of the Frostborn, Theo, technically died in We Are the Danger, meaning that Herobrine committed regicide. Technically, you could argue he's not responsible for the death of Theo, but allying with the Nether and the counter invasion led to Theo's death, which means that he committed regicide. I don't know whether or not you could charge him for killing Abigail, since Abigail was his daughter. You could say that technically he committed family-side, but it was confirmed that he doesn't remember that's his daughter, and he didn't order the skeleton to do that anyway. But since I'm not Saul Goodman, I think it's safe to say that this could classify as child abuse and family-side, if not gross negligence. It's heavily implied that there aren't many humans left in the world, and that Herobrine killed off most of the human race, with the exception of the Frostborn, Netherbane, and Bandit clans. That means that he basically committed omnicide. Around the time of Goodbye, Sir Patrick became the Grand Master of the Frostborn. That means that Herobrine attempted to kill their king, which is attempted regicide. Okay, I'm just gonna say this. This guy commits a lot of murder, and that's just most of his crimes. Plus, the fact that this is a music series, I will have to use copyright free music, and I'm just gonna do a full on montage of all his crimes because I don't need to explain any of them.